The news suddenly appeared like a streak of light tearing through the darkness of international media. Sam Heughan secretly married while in Afghanistan. A simple headline, but enough to plunge Hollywood into an unprecedented earthquake. No one knew where the news came from, nor did anyone confirm its authenticity. But in just a few minutes, it spread across social networks, shocking millions of fans. Because no one had ever known that Sam had been to Afghanistan, even less that he carried such a shocking secret. That morning, Sam was in New York preparing to attend an event to promote his new project. When he entered the hotel lobby, dozens of reporters were waiting. Flashlights continuously flashed, as if trying to penetrate every expression on his face. "Sam, can you talk about the secret marriage in Afghanistan? Is this news true? Who is your wife? How long are you going to hide it from your fans?" Sam paused for a few seconds, his blue eyes sharp but not losing his composure. He said politely, "Sorry, I don't answer personal questions today." And he walked straight ahead, faster than usual. But the questions followed him, echoing in his mind like invisible strings tightening. In the hotel room, Sam threw his coat on a chair and walked to the window. The traffic on Fifth Avenue moved like a rushing river, urgent, chaotic, just like his mood at the moment. Miriam, his manager, hurried in. "Sam, this is explosive." He folded his arms, leaning against the wall. "Do I have to ask myself when I got married? These rumors have really gone too far." Miriam sighed, placing the stack of newspapers on the table. "They said you married a woman who worked for a humanitarian organization in Kabul, during a secret visit 2 years ago. Someone named Layla Noor." Sam frowned. Layla. The name blew through his memory like a cold wind. 2 years ago, Sam secretly traveled to Afghanistan as part of an international artist support program. He was with a small group making a documentary about the lives of people in war zones. He had not made the trip public for security reasons, and because he had never thought it would be related to his career. During those dusty days in Kabul, filled with tanks and distant explosions, he met Layla, a young doctor working at a frontline medical station. She had sad but determined brown eyes, a voice as light as the wind, and a soul as solid as a mountain rock. She had no idea that Sam was a star. In her eyes, he was just a foreigner who wanted to understand the world of the Afghan people. They talked many nights by the dim yellow light of the camp. Sam listened to stories of loss, sacrifice, hopes as fragile as desert sand. And Layla listened to him talk about the pressures of living in the spotlight. The gap between their worlds narrowed, and something grew in the silence of the long nights. But he did not marry her. Not at all. Back in the present, Miriam asked, "Do you want to speak up now? Or we can leave it alone, let the press die down." Sam was silent. The only person he could think of right now was Layla. Not because of the rumors, but because he knew her life could be in danger if her name was dragged into the media storm. He pulled out his phone and called a secure international number. "Sam?" The voice rang after a few rings. "Layla, have you seen the news?" "I saw it." Her voice was calm but a little shaky. "I'm sorry," Sam said slowly. "I didn't know this would blow up like this. I know you didn't start this." Layla sighed softly. "But my colleagues at the medical station have been asking me all morning. I'll be fine. What I'm worried about is you." Sam smiled softly, though his heart was heavy. "I'm fine, but I'm more worried about you." "Sam," Layla said, her voice becoming serious, "don't speak up to refute too soon. Anything you say will be distorted." He knew she was right. That afternoon, Sam canceled all his schedules and returned to his Manhattan apartment. He sat at his desk playing old documentary footage, ones he'd deliberately filed away because they reminded him too much. In one scene, Layla stood in the middle of the infirmary courtyard, the sun shining on her flowing black hair. She looked into the camera and smiled. "We do this for hope. Not for money, not for fame. Just for hope." The moment made Sam's chest tighten. He missed that smile. He missed that strength. He missed the strange sense of peace she felt when she was near. But they broke up after the trip. Not because they didn't love each other anymore, but because they knew their futures were too different. She stayed in Afghanistan to save people. He returned to Scotland to continue his life in the spotlight. They chose to love quietly and part with respect. As night fell, Sam turned on the TV and saw the first fabricated photo. Him standing next to Layla, hand in hand against an Afghan field. The photo was awkwardly edited, but it still caused a public outcry. An editor said in an agitated voice, "There are reports that the wedding took place secretly in a small village near Bamiyan. Sam has not denied it yet." Sam turned off the TV. He rested his forehead on his hand. Perhaps it was time for him to speak up, not for himself but for Layla. The next morning, Sam appeared in the press room in New York, his face calm but his eyes full of determination. Hundreds of reporters crowded around, waiting for an answer. He stepped to the podium and adjusted the microphone. The air became so still that you could hear the sound of breathing. "I'll be frank," Sam began. "I'm not married. Not in Afghanistan or anywhere else." A ripple of murmuring rippled through the room, but he continued, his voice low and steady. "Yes. I went to Afghanistan 2 years ago. Yes. I met an extraordinary woman named Layla Noor. But she's not my wife. She's a friend, and one of the bravest people I've ever known. The story about the secret marriage is a lie. But what hurts me more is that the rumor could endanger a woman who's doing life-saving work." Sam paused, his eyes fixed on the camera as if to send a message to the millions watching live. "We can joke about celebrity gossip. But we can't joke about the safety of innocent people. I hope the media will understand that one wrong line of news can ruin a life." The room fell silent. Sam stepped down, not answering any more questions. The news spread. But this time in a different direction. People began criticizing the newspapers that made up the story, demanding an apology. Some humanitarian organizations spoke up to defend Layla, saying she had suffered a lot just because the media wanted to get views. Layla called Sam that evening. "You did a good job," she said softly. "I just wanted to protect you." Sam leaned her head back on the sofa, eyes closed. "I know." Layla smiled through her voice. "But Sam, we all choose our own paths. And sometimes, those paths only cross for a moment." He fell silent, knowing she was right. "But that moment," Layla continued, "is worth keeping in your heart. No marriage, no paperwork. Just remembering that we met." Sam smiled softly. "I will always remember." Finally, the truth was revealed. The rumors faded like dust. But in Sam's heart, the memories of Afghanistan and Layla remained, deep, peaceful, and forever out of the spotlight. Sometimes stories don't need to be told. Something is best kept quiet. And Sam knew better than anyone. Not every secret that's revealed brings storms. Sometimes, it just reminds us that hearts beat in unexpected places.